All right, this is a red maple, and it was planted a little bit deep. We've got a wound that was improperly covered with a non-porous tape. You can see the outline of it here, and it's a little bit wet, and we think we can dry that out by just exposing it to air and light. The tree is going to be great at healing itself if it has the right exchange of air and light, which we have done by removing this tape. And we've got one girdling root that we removed that was placed like so, and we cut it out because it was against the edge of the tree and was starting to cut and girdle a part of it right here. Now, as you can see, we have some other roots. Here's the anchor here. It's got an anchor root, we hope, on the other side right here that we've exposed. See it right there? And it's turned a little bit, but that's okay. And then we've got another one here. If we'll look over here, we can see where this came off of this anchor root secondary, and it's turned and eventually may need to be eliminated here where it's over this anchor. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this root here for the time being because it's not cutting into the trunk, and because its width or diameter is almost 10% of the diameter of this little 2 or 3 inch sapling here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right here, and the reason I'm cutting here is because this is an anchor and it's cutting over the top of the anchor, and I'm just going to come right in here and I'm going to cut that. And as you can see, these roots have all kinds of little secondary junctions off of them, and these fibrous root endings are what we most look for to absorb nutrients in this tree. And so for the time being, this tree is going to be okay. Collar exposed, anchor on top of the ground. It looks like we've got most of the strangling and the girdling component of it eliminated. We haven't gotten carried away because the tree is still in sort of a fragile condition, and we don't want to do any more than we have to, but it bears watching. This root right here, come on around on this side, Todd, and we'll see. This root right here is close enough, and it's probably cutting over an anchor. I'm going to go ahead and cut that, and there's another little fibrous root. You see, every time you cut these roots, you're eliminating this kind of feeding capability, and we don't want to necessarily do that, but we don't want to jeopardize the long-term stability of the tree, so we're going to do that. And as you can see, there is an anchor on this one that's a little bit deeper down in here. There it is right there. And we're going to leave that. There it is. There it is, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be enough to get this tree established. And what we'll do is, as we maintain this tree, we're going to put mulch out along the edge. We're going to stimulate the root growth that you see here going straight up to go straight out instead, and this wound will gradually close itself up as the diameter increases. We have a fair amount of taper, which is a good sign. It's thick at the bottom and thins out as it goes up, and we've done some pruning. Most of that's been properly done, and so this tree is going to do fine with the kind of management that we have just described is necessary to maintain it for the long term. Cool. All right. What I'm looking for is an anchor, because I've been told that this tree was sat up on a lot with in a root ball, and one of the dead giveaways is you see these roots growing straight up out of the ground. Now, that, your common sense ought to tell you that roots don't grow straight up. They're supposed to grow straight out. And what I'm going to do with my hand tool, I don't have my air tool with me. There it is. All right, there's some of our first anchors.
I'm getting a call. Hello? Yeah. Hey, how are you?
You can do is zoom in on this particular part right here.
Okay.
All right, we've got a spruce evergreen here, and as you can see, it's only sprouted out along its stem, and the history on this is that it sat up on a lot for a long period of time, and as near as we can tell, this is the first anchor root right here. As you can see, it's growing straight down instead of out. I can get my fingers in behind here, and that is where the root collar is. You see where this is thickened out. All these roots are growing straight up because they're growing toward the source of water, air, and nutrients. This wire basket, as you can see, was improperly left on there when it was installed. It should have been cut at least 1/3 of the way down, and as near as I can tell, the roots probably went straight out the bottom of the root ball looking for water, where the root ball was probably sitting in a pile of dirt or maybe even on top of another container. But what we'll recommend, now I've done this manually and it should be done with an air tool, but I don't have my air tool here. I'm here to demonstrate for the people watching this DVD that the root collar, which is located right here, is covered and smothered. This is probably another, there's a girdling root right there. There's a good example of one right there. See how I pull that away? That girdling root will cut into the collar. And so what I'm going to recommend is that we come back with the air tool, we expose this area here out to the wire basket, cut the wire down, cut the adventitious roots out, that's what these are, growing off the stem, and supplement this tree with liquid biostimulants for the first season after we do this. And as you can see, it's starting to clear up the collar a little bit right there. Here's one of the anchors, and there's others like that around on the other side. Hopefully these roots here that are growing straight up will be eliminated as we go into our rehab process, and the tree will begin to establish itself and establish a wider type of a span of branches, because it has more resources to do that. And we'll have to kill back the Bermuda grass. We've got some good fertile dirt over here, but as you can see, very little of the rooting of the tree. We've got some coming out over here. You can see right there. That's where the basket is on this side. And we'll use an air tool so that we don't do any more damage than we have to around the tree here, and expose that collar, cut those adventitious roots, and feed and aerate and decompact wider out, and that should save this tree.